In that moment at the party, they really do mean it. They look at you and they think, yeah, we should get coffee. I want to be the kind of person who makes new friends and gets coffee.
They're imagining this ideal version of themselves who isn't exhausted and overcommitted.
Exactly. Okay, so I want you to picture a scenario. It's Friday night. You're at a party, maybe a friend's thing or whatever. The music's good. You're having a good time. And you start talking to someone new. And honestly, it is going great.
Oh, that's the best feeling. You know, when you're laughing at the same dumb jokes, the vibe is just, it clicks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Real chemistry. So the night's ending, you're both leaving, and this new person turns to you, big smile, and says, "This was so fun. We should definitely hang out sometime. I'll text you."
Okay, I know exactly where this is going. You swap numbers, walk away feeling like, yes, I did it. New friend.
You go home, you're on a high, you wait a day, then a week goes by. No text. 2 weeks. Crickets.
And that's when the spiral begins.
Oh, completely. You start replaying everything. Did I talk too much? Was my story boring? Did they lose my number? Should I text them?
It feels like a personal rejection. You start thinking, what's wrong with me?
So here is the hard truth, and I need you to brace yourself for this.
Right.
That person, they were never going to text you.
Ouch. This is blunt.
And here's the wild part. They weren't lying. And they didn't hate you. They were just speaking American.
Speaking American. So this deep dive is basically a translation guide for, like, social heartbreak.
Pretty much. Today we are digging into this whole world of polite fictions. We've been looking at some amazing sociolinguistic studies, articles on cultural communication, all to answer one question. Why do Americans say things they don't actually mean?
It's such a good question because these phrases, we should hang out, let's do lunch, they sound like real invitations, they feel like promises. But
Yeah.
more often than not, they're just pleasant noises.
Pleasant noises. I like that. It sounds cynical, but it's kind of accurate. In linguistics, there's a term for this, right? It's phatic communication.
Right. Phatic communication, yeah. It's when you're talking, but not to exchange information. It's purely for the social function.
Exactly. Like when you pass someone in the hall and say, "How are you?" You don't actually want a 10-minute breakdown of their health problems.
God, no. If they actually started telling me about their back pain, I'd just keep walking.
Right. You're just signaling, "I see you, I acknowledge you, we're cool." It's a ritual. But the trouble starts when one person thinks it's a real question and the other knows it's just the ritual.
And if you're not from a culture that does this, it can feel so fake.
Well, think about the contrast with what sociologists call low-context cultures. Places like, say, Germany or the Netherlands. Very direct.
Oh, very direct. In Amsterdam, if you say, we should get coffee, you're basically pulling out your calendar. If they don't want to see you again, they just won't say it.
Which, to a Dutch person, makes the American way seem super deceptive. They feel lied to. But flip that around to an American, that level of directness can feel, a bit harsh.
So it's about prioritizing social harmony over, like, literal honesty.
That's the perfect way to put it. Okay, let's get into the biggest offender, the absolute Hall of Fame polite fiction. We should hang out sometime.
The classic, the absolute classic.
Everyone has said this, and everyone has heard this. To an untrained ear, it sounds exactly like an invitation.
Well, yeah. The words are we and hang out. It seems pretty clear.
But the real translation is usually something more like, "I enjoyed this chat, and I want to end it on a high note."
Yeah.
It is an exit line. It's not a plan.
So it's really just a fancy way to say goodbye.
Exactly.
Yep.
Let's try something. Let's role play it just so people can hear it. You be the American leaving the party. Give me that big, enthusiastic, but totally vague energy.
Okay, got it. I'm smiling. I'm heading for the door. Hey, it was so great to see you. We should totally hang out.
Yeah, totally, for sure.
And the scene, we both just walk away.
See? And what was missing from that entire exchange?
Specifics. There were zero specifics.
That is the golden rule. Well, everyone remember this. No specifics equals no plans. If I say let's hang out and you say totally, we have just enthusiastically agreed to never see each other again.
It's like a social contract to mutually pretend we like each other enough to make plans without having to actually do it.
Yes. Now, compare that to a real invitation. A real one sounds like, "We should hang out. How about Saturday? I want to check out that new pizza place."
Oh, that's completely different. It has a time, a place, an activity. It asks a question.
That "how about" is the magic phrase. If they aren't trying to check your availability, they are not making a plan.
This makes me think of what the research called the lunch paradox.
Oh, the lunch paradox is great. Go ahead, break it down.
Well, basically, millions of lunches are proposed in America every single day. Let's grab lunch. We should get coffee. It's like the standard way to end a meeting.
And what percentage of them actually happen?
Almost none. It's what you'd call a ritualistic closing. It signals that the relationship is friendly, but it doesn't actually commit you to anything.
So true. And there's a physical cue for this one that I find fascinating. I call it the walking away rule.
The walking away rule.
Yeah. If someone says, I'll call you about that lunch, while they are physically moving towards the door, they will not be calling you.
The direction of the feet is the direction of the intention.
The feet never lie. It's basic human behavior. If they meant it, they would stop, maybe pull out their phone, and say, wait, what's your schedule like? If they're walking away, the words are just a punctuation at the end of the sentence. I am leaving.
It's funny because that actually comes from old school dating culture, doesn't it? The infamous, I'll call you after a first date.
Yes, that was the standard way to avoid a second date without being cruel. And over time, it just bled into friendships and business. It's just softer.
Softer, but so much more confusing.
Way more confusing. But it gets even riskier. We have to talk about what some of the sources called dangerous offers.
Dangerous offers? That sounds serious.
They're the ones that can get you into actual social trouble if you take them literally. The first one is, let me know if you need anything.
Oh, I say this all the time. Someone's having a bad week, you say, so sorry, let me know if you need anything.
Okay, but be honest. If I then called you at 3 in the morning and asked for a ride to the airport because I didn't want to pay for a taxi, what would you really think?
I'd be pretty annoyed. I mean, I'd probably do it, but I'd be thinking, dude, I didn't mean that.
Exactly. That is the trap. The phrase is a social contract that secretly assumes you won't actually ask for anything inconvenient.
Right. As if for like a true emergency. If my car breaks down,
Okay.
if you just want help moving a couch, no.
Exactly. From a close friend, it's different. But from an acquaintance, it's just a way of showing support without committing to anything. It's what some linguists call positive politeness.
It reminds me of that idea of ask versus guess cultures.
Oh, yeah, explain that.
Well, in an ask culture, it's okay to ask for anything because it's okay for the other person to just say no. But in a guess culture, where these polite fictions live, you're supposed to guess that the offer wasn't literal. You're not supposed to put them in the awkward position of having to say no.
That is a perfect way to put it. And failing to guess correctly can lead to the absolute worst-case scenario, you should come visit.
Oh, no. I can already feel the cringe.
Just imagine. You meet someone from Chicago at a wedding, you live in L.A., you really hit it off. And they say, oh my God, you have to come visit us in Chicago sometime. Stay with us.
And then 3 months later, I just show up on their doorstep with a suitcase.
Please, for the love of God, do not do that.
The awkwardness would be unbearable.
Because that offer, it was a polite fiction. The translation is, I like you, and in a perfect world, it would be nice to see you, but I am not actually opening a hotel for you.
Okay, so how do you know when it's real? Because sometimes people actually do mean it.
Use the specifics test. When they say, come visit,
Yeah.
you immediately respond with, I would love that. What time of year is good for you?
You put the ball right back in their court.
Exactly. If they say, oh, anytime, just let me know.
Yeah.
That is deflection. It is fake. Anytime means no time.
But if they say, well, October's really nice, and we have that guest room free the second weekend.
Then you can start looking at flights. If they open a calendar, it is real.
Yeah.
If they stay vague, you stay home.
This is all starting to click, but it brings up the really big question for me. Why? Why go through all this? Why can't Americans just say what they mean?
It seems so much easier, right?
Yeah, it feels really inefficient and a little exhausting to have to decode everything.
Well, the psychology seems to have like 3 main parts. First, it's just straight up conflict avoidance. Saying no directly feels aggressive in American culture. It's seen as a harsh, confrontational word.
So maybe it just becomes the polite way to say no.
Exactly. Second is this idea of face saving. It's a huge concept in sociology. If I directly invite you and you directly reject me, I lose face. I feel bad, and now you feel bad for making me feel bad.
Right, the person doing the rejecting feels guilty.
But if we just pretend we're going to hang out, we both get to leave the conversation feeling popular and well-liked. Everybody saves face.
It preserves the illusion of connection without the work.
Right. But the third reason is my favorite because it's actually kind of nice. It's called optimism bias.
Optimism bias. How does that work here?
Well, sometimes in that moment at the party, they really do mean it. They look at you and they think, yeah, We should get coffee. I want to be the kind of person who makes new friends and gets coffee.
They're imagining this ideal version of themselves who isn't exhausted and overcommitted.
Exactly. And then Monday morning comes, life happens, work is crazy, the vague, optimistic intention just evaporates. It wasn't a lie, it was just aspirational.
That is actually deeply relatable.
Yeah.
I've definitely made plans at 10 p.m. on a Saturday that I have zero intention of keeping by 8 a.m. on Monday.
We all have. Now, before we get to how to deal with all this, we have to talk about the workplace. Polite fictions are everywhere at the office.
Oh, corporate speak is its own dialect of polite fiction. It's a masterclass.
Think about the phrase, "we'll figure it out," or my personal favorite, "let's circle back on that."
Let's take this offline.
In an office, "we'll figure it out" almost always means, I do not want to solve this problem right now.
And let's circle back means I am praying everyone forgets this was ever mentioned.
Yes. I'm just thinking of all the people who thought a project was still happening because their boss said, let's revisit that next quarter, when in reality that project was already in the graveyard.
It's just risk management. A soft no leaves the door open a tiny crack. A hard no slams it shut.
Exactly. So, okay, hearing all this, what do? If you're tired of the game, how do you navigate it without being a jerk?
Yeah, you can't just be like, do you really mean that, Susan? That would not go over well.
No, that breaks the social contract. You become the weird, aggressive one.
Yeah.
But there are strategies. We pulled out 3 key ones.
Okay, let's hear them. Strategy number 1.
Strategy 1 is match their energy.
Meaning what?
If they're vague, you're vague back. Don't offer specifics to someone who's only giving you fluff.
So if they say we should hang out sometime.
You just say, yeah, totally. That'd be great. And you keep it moving. You mirror them. You don't whip out your phone and say, awesome, how's next Thursday?
Because then you seem almost desperate or like you can't read the room.
It makes you look like you missed the memo. So just keep it light. Yeah, let's do it. And walk away.
Okay, but what if I actually want to see this person? What if I'm trying to break the cycle?
Then you go to strategy 2. Be the planner.
You have to take control.
You have to be the one to kill the vagueness. If you want it to happen, you must be the one to provide the specifics.
Okay, let's role play this one too. The wrong way and the right way.
Perfect. You're the person I want to be friends with.
Okay. Hey, we should totally grab lunch soon.
Wrong way. Okay, cool. Call me.
And I'm never going to call. You just gave me homework.
Right. I put all the work on you. Okay, then here's the right way. Same setup.
Hey, we should totally grab lunch soon.
Right way. I'd love to. You know, actually free next Tuesday.
Yeah.
Want to try that new taco place downtown?
Oh. Okay, now I have to give you a real answer.
Exactly. I've forced a yes or an excuse.
And if I say, oh, Tuesday's tough, let me check my calendar and get back to you, and then I never do, then you have your answer. It was just a polite fiction. But if I say, Tuesday works, we have a plan. Either way, you get the truth.
I like that. It just cuts right through the fog.
And then strategy 3 is really more of a mindset shift. It's just, don't take it personally.
That's the hardest one.
I know it is. But you have to remember, this isn't about you. It's not because you're unlikable. It's just a different operating system for politeness. They aren't trying to be mean. They're trying to be nice in their own coded way.
It's the polite part of polite fiction.
Right. If you stop saying we should hang out as a contract, you stop being disappointed by it. You just see it for what it is. A friendly wave goodbye.
You know, once you understand the code, you can use it for your own benefit, too.
Oh, it's a superpower. Sometimes you need a graceful exit from a conversation you don't want to be in.
It was so great catching up. We really have to do this again sometime.
And then you just vanish. It's like a social smoke bomb. I love it.
But I think the big takeaway here is really about agency. You don't have to be a victim of this vague culture, just waiting for someone to maybe text you.
You can just be the one who makes the concrete plan.
Exactly. The lesson here is that the word sometime almost always means never. So if you want sometime to become now, you have to be the one to do it.
It's funny, looking back at that person in the beginning, spiraling while waiting for the text, it seems so clear now.
It does. The silence was the answer.
So really, the bottom line is that vague American invitations are usually just friendly goodbyes.
Yep. Unless there is a time and a place attached, it is not real. It is just social noise disguised as a plan.
And let's get lunch while walking away is basically a social unsubscribe button.
Yes. And come visit is a trap, unless they're actually looking at a calendar with you.
But we shouldn't be angry about it.
No, not at all. It's just a cultural dance. And now that you know the steps, you won't get your toes stepped on.
I like that analogy.
So here's a final thought for everyone listening. We live in this age where we're all hyper-connected. We can text or DM anyone on the planet in seconds. And yet, this kind of vague, non-committal talk seems to be getting more common, not less.
Why do you think that is?
I wonder if it's because real, specific plans feel like a bigger commitment than ever before. So the next time someone says, we should totally do this again, just pause. Don't wait by the phone. Smile, say, that would be great, and in your head, just translate it to goodbye.
Good.
But if you actually want a real friendship with that person, don't play the game. Be the one to break the cycle, pull out your phone right then and there, and pick a date. Because that's the only way to turn American politeness into an actual plan.
I was going to say, we should do this again sometime, but...
Only if you have a specific time in mind. Thanks for listening to this deep dive, everyone.
Talk to you next time.